pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Does anybody have any changes to the minutes of last meeting?
Just the year end, just the space between those, and then, under community resources, reported that Tom Leake of the India is requesting input from the board. It was just a general, on page 2, the top.
Right.
Yes?
Yeah, he's not requesting it from us directly. It was something that was in the paper and that I brought to the board's attention for us to take advantage of if we wish to, but we're not being asked particularly
I
to.
misunderstood.
No, that's fine.
I could rewrite
fine.
that line to more reflect your thoughts right now.
Yeah, thank you.
He's just providing us a form in case we wanna send it.
Everyone, not just
It
the
was an
library.
open forum,
It was
you
in,
said it?
yeah, yeah.
Alright.
It's just it was just a blurb in the paper. If anybody's interested,
Right.
submit for publication. Okay?
Okay, I'll change the sentence to more
Thank you.
reflect your idea.
Anything else? Any other changes to the minutes from last meeting? If not, who would like to make the motion to accept the minutes as amended? Mary? And who would like to second that? Norma? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Michelle?
Hi guys.
you have the
Hello.
spotlight.
Good evening. You guys have my monthly report, so you have what we had done for summer reading through the end of July. We finished last Thursday, finale on the front lawn. The rain held out, didn't rain till 5:30, which was good for me. So, I always say that if anybody has a drought, I will plan an outside program and be the hero of all, because it will rain on that day. I'll pass out some of these pictures. These were pictures that were up on the bulletin boards of some of the activities that we did. This was family game night, Scaventure, and all the different families that participated. This was family excavation night, as opposed to family building night this year. We did an excavation. And then this is just a few pictures from the finale, and also, I'm gonna pass that back that way. The last program that Kitty did in August, which was the rock shakers and dirt movers, I think they were. That was K through 2. So that gives you just some ideas of some of the things that we've done over the summer. This summer, as per my report, was phenomenal. It was the largest group we've ever had, largest group in every area that we've ever had. We had outstanding attendance this year. A lot of times we get a lot of people who sign up and then don't follow through. This year we really saw the follow through all 5 weeks of the program. To give you a little rundown kind of how we run the program and how we've been doing it for the last 3 years is we give them reading logs. We have 2 reading groups, entering kindergarten through entering grade 2, and then an entering 3rd through entering 6th. They get 2 different reading logs. The younger ones get a little bit bigger one to write on. And we reward them by giving them something that goes along with the theme. This year it was dig into reading, so it was, buried treasure. So we had gold coins for them. So every 30 pages that they read out of a chapter book, every picture book, and every easy reader earned them 1 gold coin. So they would keep track of that in their reading logs, bring it in each week. We had a bank set up. I don't know if you remember that from the last meeting. It's since met its demise. But the teenagers would run the bank and the store for us. That's our companion teen volunteer program that we do. And so they run the store, they run the bank with our assistants, they pass out the coins. And we did our final numbers. We keep track in the store of how many things are purchased. just to give myself an inventory so I know what types of things are popular, what's selling, all that kind of good stuff. And I am happy to report that we sell book sets, things like Harry Potter, The Lightning Thief, Wimpy Kid, Dork Diaries, anything that's really kind of popular, as well as I try to put packs together from the donations we receive over the year. You know, so there may be like a girl pack, a Matt Christopher sports pack or something like that, and we try to price those out. And so we sold 168 book sets, and the total number of coins that were spent on the book sets was 4,579 coins. That's just in the book sets alone. We also have individual books for sale, things like sticker books or coloring books or any kind of activity book that they can write in. So we sold 58 of those at 12 coins a pop, so that was 696 coins. And then the things that we sold in the store, we have a 2-coin shelf all the way up to a 25-coin shelf. So things like 2 coins are like plastic dinosaurs, a highlights poster, the little rubber ducks, bubbles, Pokemon cards, things like that. All the way up to things like in the 25 coins was the Rock Science kit, and I had like 5 of those, so those were 25 coins each. We had grow your own dinosaur eggs, so these little eggs that you put in water and the dinosaur grows and cracks the egg. It's very exciting. We had things like different craft kits, grow your own crystal kits this year to go with the theme, so you get the idea. We sold 1,059 items out of the store, and that totaled 9,348 coins. So altogether, we exchanged, just for the kids who actually returned their coins, because some of them thought that was the prize, and they kept them, 14,823 coins, which if you multiply that by 30 pages, because that's really what they needed to read in order to get a coin, it was 444,690 pages in 5 weeks. It was a very successful program. We had 438 kids registered in that K to 6 group. We had 100, I think it was like 110 at all was said and done. Your numbers may differ a little with your report because we did have some last minute Nellies kind of jump in the last week or so. I think we had 107 teen volunteers, and then we had 86 or so of the teams, grade 6 and up, who did our game board, where they would have to read a book, write a review, and that would earn them a spot on the game board. They'd have to read to a younger child, that earned them a spot on the game board. They had to research their birthstone, that earned them a spot. And for every spot they earned a ticket into the weekly raffle. And then the volunteers, every hour they worked, earned a ticket into the grand prize drawing. So we gave away 3 $50 Visa gift cards and the Kindle that the friends bought for us. And so we had 723 volunteer tickets in the final drawing there. And we had 428 weekly entries. So those teens were doing their thing. They were really, helping us out a lot. It gives them a nice place to volunteer. National Honor Society, confirmation, all of those Boy Scouts, things like that. So, they really do look forward to coming in and helping the kids. They have to do a little math, which is always, met with a little groan at the beginning, but they figure it out. So, so they really do have a good time, and they help us with if you see the family excavation night, every family had a teen volunteer who was sitting with them, helping them through the process. The family game night, we had the 5 different stations, and there was teens actually running those stations for me. So it really is kind of an extension of myself, when we're doing programs like that. It's nice for them, and nice for us too, because we get a lot of help that way. So, does anybody have any questions? Anything
Who won the Kindle?
Stephanie Dahowski. I have a picture. Yeah, she was very excited, and I will. Matt knows this story already. I'll tell you quickly. I called everybody to tell them that they won something and to come in and pick it up. And so I was here on Friday, and she came in with her dad and her sister. She's walk in. Hi, I'm Stephanie. Here I won something. I'm looking at her like, are you kidding me? Like, what is the matter with this girl? And so I said, oh, Stephanie, okay, here, you know, and I go and I pull it out and I'm like, and here's your lucky ticket. And I'm all smiling and I was ready to ask her to take her picture and she's like, thanks. And she takes it and she walks away and starts leaving. And I'm just like, I was blown away. I was shocked. I was like, well, I'm not going to ask to take her picture now if she's going to be pussy, you know. So her dad goes, Stephanie, what book did you win? She goes, I don't know. And he goes, is it a book from Amazon? What book did you win? And she goes, I don't know. And me, being slow on the uptake, I turned and I said, she didn't win a book. She won the Kindle Fire. She went, oh, what? And she freaked out. Her father had told her that she just won a book. And so she didn't even look at what was in her hand. She just thought it was a book. And she was, I really wanted the Kindle Fire. And so that's why she was all upset. So if I was a little quicker, I probably could have played it up a little bit more. But I asked, I said, you should have told me because then I would have had the video camera running when she actually got the news because she really, you know, broke into a beaming smile. And then now her picture is much smilier. So.
There's fierce competition for that, I guess. Right?
Yes, that was one of the definite. You know, we gave them. So when they got their raffle ticket for every hour that they worked, there was 2 boxes up by Karen's desk. One was for the $50 gift card, and one was for the Kindle, and they could decide where they wanted to put their ticket. So the Kindle was definitely a hot item this summer. So
Sounds like the whole program was a
yes,
hot program.
yes,
Yeah.
they and as you'll see too in my report, we had waiting lists upon waiting lists upon waiting lists. That was the one I would say. Little bit of a drawback in the sense that we're skewered by our own sword of success in a way, because the one program that we had Dinosaurs Rock, which was our first initial program, and we had over 90 kids at that. I had scheduled 100, and we had a bunch of waiting lists going bopping back and forth. So we were actually able to accommodate everybody, you know, that wanted to come for that one. But then the next week. We had Brian Pahucki, who's a local geologist, and his sister, or no, his wife, teaches at the school. And anyway, he came to talk to the kids about geology and brought them rock samples and all that other kind of stuff. And so we had 20 spots open for that just because of the size of this room, which we're still exceeding. But he filled that by 9:30 that morning, the opening of the opening day of registration, and by 5:30 we had a full waiting list of 20 people. So I was able to call him, and he was nice enough to agree to do 2 programs back to back. So we had a session 1 and a session 2 where we were able to again accommodate. But we don't know how many people were turned. You know, once the waiting list gets full, if you go and you look and you go, oh, I'm number 21 on the waiting list, why bother, kind of a thing. You know, we're not sure how many people like that were turned away, but we were able to, through his good grace, you know, accommodate another set of children.
So everybody who was on the waiting list was accommodated.
Yes.
So,
But it was back to, you know, like I said, it was back-to-back programs where we brought the first group in at 3 o'clock. We were done at 3:40. We brought let them go out that way, while the next group of 20 came in this way. So that way we could, you know, like I said, try to accommodate as many as we could.
so if you had a room twice as large as this, you would have filled it?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
And you had a lot of kids sign up for this. Is this representative of past years, or is it the programs that have?
We had, based on last year's numbers, we had over 100 more children in that K-6 group sign up, you know, this year. So what I'm hearing from a lot of the parents is just it's word of mouth getting out that it's well received, the kids receive it well, they enjoy the store aspect of the program, they like being able to go in and kind of pick their prize rather than be handed something. As we found with the gnomes, they're highly competitive people here at Goshen. So they are, you know, trying to outdo each other as how many coins can they get. Like I said, some of them even thought the coins were the prize. So they were just like hoarding, you know, I have this money bag full of coins, you know, jingling it around. So, you know, I really think word of mouth has spread, and
Great.
you know, they know when I go to the school now in June, they know, you know, they know what to expect. They are like, okay, what are the prizes this year? You know, what are we earning? Because last year it was star tickets, this year was the gold coin, you know, so there's always, we take the theme and we modify the basic process into whatever the theme is for that that year, so,
What do you think has helped in getting the word out? Is it the indies being more involved in getting the word out that's
I think
helped?
that
or-
helps a lot,
Yeah.
yes, certainly. You know, I think going to the schools, we go in June and we speak to kindergartens, the second grades, we go to every grade in the intermediate school during their library time. Usually it's like that last full week of school that we get up there, so the teachers, you know, will combine classes and they'll all come together and sit and listen. You know, they don't have librarians there anymore, so they don't really have any kind of in-school summer reading program where, you know, that we may be seen through the parents as filling a gap in that respect. You know, we have reading lists that the RCLS helps us develop that we can pass out for age-appropriate reading material, especially reading material that goes with whatever the theme is that year. You know, so I think that you know, that is definitely something. If the parents are looking for something to get their children, you know, really reading and kind of keeping on task. I mean, I've had parents come to me, not this year also, but the one I'm thinking of specifically was last year, and she said that her daughter was at the start of summer, at the end of the previous school year, was reading below reading level, and at the first parent-teacher conference of the next year was reading a little above, and she totally came to me and said, I attribute it to the fact that you kept her reading over the summer.
Did you take her name and
So-
number?
Yes, I do know who she is.
No, just
yes.
just a couple of things, just,
Yes.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but,
No, it's good.
data keeping, I know we've talked about this and keeping track of numbers and,
Mhm.
you know, especially if people have to be turned away, we need to know that because that's gonna help us to move forward
Right.
wherever we're going
Yeah,
next.
and I think you'll see that
Yeah.
in there for every program. I did try to kind of say what specifically happened where we were able to either double it like we did for the one, the family game night. Again, I don't know what we've never had more than 5 or 6 families do family game night. This year, 10 families within the first 2 days were like, all right, we're in, we're doing it, let's go. And we had families show up on that night, hoping that somebody didn't show up so they could get in and play. I mean, so it really, it was kind of just, you know, a little jaw-dropping to us. Like, we're excited and great, but, you know, you still feel that little bit of tug when you have to say, I'm sorry, we just don't have enough space. We had 60-some people on that front lawn that night. It was just amazing. It was crazy, to be honest. You know, we have things where, you know, most things, as some of you who are teachers know or parents know, when you buy something, it's usually in what? A pack of 12. So if we buy the supplies, we have space for 12. If we have 15, that means we buy another pack of 12, and then you have so many left over that what are you going to do with? You know, so trying to be fiscally responsible with the budgetary monies of the supplies, and not only that, but like when we have to do 2 programs back to back, if it's me running the program and I'm supposed to be out at the desk, I still have to get somebody to kind of cover that area if I'm in here. So there's again the double staff time that kind of plays into things. So, you know, everybody, oh come on, it's just one more. Why can't you take just one more? You know, we really have been trying to educate a lot of the parents this summer as to what it entails. You know, it's not just as easy as saying it's just one more, you know, especially with the quality of the things that we try to do. You know, we do have drop-ins where we have enough supplies, you know, we'll buy, you know, we have paper, we have crayons, we have, you know, those types of things. So depending on whatever the craft or the activity is, you know, you can have a drop-in where we had, you know, 50, 60 kids come through in a 2-hour time period. But, you know, not everything is going to be able to do that. I mean, you see Kitty took down the K-Bar about the cave art. We had a cave art program where we had, actual, cave art, blocks of where they did the art on that, and that came in a pack of 15. We have to kind of limit to what we can afford as well, so.
Are these on the website?
They
we
are not on the
allowed?
website yet. They had, some of them were on the Facebook page.
Okay, great.
We do have our new photo frame out there that's cycling through some of them, so we're working on getting them all on there. So yeah,
Great.
we're working on it. Take those. Any other questions? I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. I know it's like hard to cram 5 weeks into 20 minutes,
Great
and I
job.
don't wanna
Mhm.
worry you guys, but we really had a great summer. We had a lot of interactive things, a lot of kids coming in, even with the story hours at the Scotchtown School. Thank God we have the Scotchtown School to use for that younger group story time, because we had record numbers even up there. Usually you'll see the morning group is bigger than the afternoon group, or that's typically the trend, whatever it is that summer. And we had full houses both, 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock, so. Yeah, so we really did, we reached a lot of kids, which I feel very good about, we really did, and, the fact that they're bought books, that's my saving grace. The books were number one sellers, the second number one seller was the duct tape. Duct tape is a big thing in Goshen, if anybody doesn't know that, go out and buy yourself some duct tape, they make lots of cool stuff with it, so. That was the bargain of the shop was do you have any more, Miss Michelle, do you have any more duct tape? Every week I was running back out to the store, gotta go get more duct tape. So yes, 100 rolls of duct tape were out there floating around in Goshen,
Wow.
so, yes, they make lots of
Great
good
job.
stuff, so, thank
Great
you.
job.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Yes.
much for
Like
that.
Anybody has any questions or anything like that, just feel free to drop me an email or stop in or anything, we're always open to new ideas and Yeah.
Sounds like you've had some pretty good ideas.
thank you. Thank you very much. What?
It's not broke, we're not gonna try and fix it.
Yeah, you didn't have to run a cotton candy machine this year, so you were You're welcome.
My arm functioned.
Alright, so you guys are good?
Thank you.
Alright.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll
you.
see
Thank
you
you,
all
Michelle.
very soon. Have a good rest of your
Yep.
summer
Enjoy.
before school starts.
Treasurer's report. Jack,
Okay,
you're up.
I don't know if this will be as fun as that last discussion,
Probably
but.
not, talking numbers now.
But, good evening, everybody. We have the numbers for the first month of the new fiscal year. So I entered the new budget into QuickBooks, so it's all set up, ready to go. And, during the month, we got our $200,000 TAN check as well, so you'll notice on the balance sheet that, the cash number went up. And then on the liability side now, there's the TAN tax anticipation note payable on the liability side. So when we get our first check at the end of September, the 200 will come out of that. But anyway, we're fully funded till we get that check. But the first month of the year started off kind of where we left off last year. The salaries are almost dead on. $14 for the month under budget, so it's really is picking up where we left off last year. I haven't had time to enter too many of the books. We were caught up through June, but July, the books, I'll have to work on that this week, after the meeting this week is an off week as far as no payroll or bills, so I'll be able to catch up on the books, and Norma was out for a few days too, so we're gonna work on Baker and Taylor and getting current on that. We paid our first quarter of the fiscal year answer bill in the last week or so you see that's in there. And Ken's program is in under community development, that's why that's out of whack, cause the full budget, we just spread it over the full 12 months. But that should even out at the end of the year. The answer one, I put the budget in once every quarter, cause I knew for sure when that's gonna come up, but Ken's, it's harder to tell, so I just spread it evenly over 12 months. And that's about it. We made that's showing the July mortgage payment, loan payment, but after the August loan payment, the balance is now down to $140,730.01 with, I believe, 17 payments to go. So we're getting there, 17 to go, and 140,730.01. So that's about it.
I assume the typo, that's July 31st, not 13th, right?
That's good, it's the
July
year, the
13th.
year.
July
Oh, it's meant to be the year.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
Okay.
the year, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, it's information at the 31st, yeah.
Any further questions for Jack? Can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report? All in favor? Sorry.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Second.
Nancy.
Motion, second?
We second?
Yeah,
She
sure.
made the motion.
First
You
year.
made the
You,
I'll
no,
leave it
Ellen
up
Mayer.
on the desk,
I
yeah.
seconded it.
Yeah.
Oh, Ellen, okay, thank
I
you.
don't think anybody said anything about you
No,
two,
I don't
right?
think so. I don't know.
I thought you were.
And I'm sorry, I messed that up.
Nancy
Was the
was first.
Nancy, Nancy,
And I
and
Made the
Mary,
motion,
anyone
Ellen
six?
Mary.
All in
And six,
favor?
all in favor?
All in favor, yes.
Or seven now?
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank
Have a good night, thank
See
you.
you next month. We'll see you again.
Thank you.
Committee reports, fiscal resources. I think there's a lot to discuss there, maybe not? No?
Highlights.
Highlights, yes.
Highlights. As you noted, the part of the fence, the more dangerous part of the fence was removed at its lesion, it seems, so, which is good. So they were busy, short staffed over the summer, they got to removing the most damaged part of the fence.
This is the part wrapped around the tree, for those that know.
When did they do that?
They must have done it today, I go by it every day and I
Every day
noticed
you
it
go
today
past it.
coming home.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just saying, I saw it Friday.
Yeah, no, it had to have been today, I don't know.
Well, doesn't matter, it's done.
It's, well,
It's
that
done
part,
before
yeah.
the meeting, right? Wasn't
Yeah.
it?
So we could-
We need it done before the next.
Is that,
meeting.
maybe that was an issue,
So
yes.
they don't run out there this morning and try to test.
So that's probably all they're gonna deal with at this point, or?
I'll check back with
Yeah.
them and see.
The other side, the section is just leaning a bit, but I don't know if it's,
Yeah, it's
gonna fall
it's
anytime soon,
still
but.
attached and,
Actually, that's the side we were hoping to be taken down, so there's more room for cars that fit in there,
Mm.
no?
I think so.
Yeah, so that's important
yeah,
too.
for,
Like to do some more.
when we went to the Shakespeare in the Park, I saw that firsthand, whereas we were leaving, somebody else was trying to come in,
There
and
you go.
was stopped on the road there, so. As frequently as we use that, it happens, so, so I'll talk to them about it too. Maybe they can take, I don't know if we talked in the past, maybe they can take a length of it and move it to the other side that's open now if they want, or, depends on the condition of the fence and whatever. Yeah, so I'll check back with them and
Wait,
see about that.
they removed it and are we storing it? Are they
I have no
storing
idea.
it?
That portion of
That's
it,
what we
I'll,
wanted.
I
again,
wasn't
I'll.
able to look back at the nuns' quarters, is that
Mhm.
where they lived in that shack?
Yeah, if they put it in there, they would seal it up again, so
Okay.
I'll,
So to make sure it
If-
doesn't get
if-
discarded.
yeah, we.
You know those part, but.
See if we
Hold on
can,
to
if
it.
it's still someplace that we can still use it, yeah. I'll double check on that. And the other news is the roofing bids came in, Matt did so we're in a matter of work following up on getting the bids for us, and we got 3 bids, and we decided just tonight to go with one of the 3. It was actually
That's never
A&J Reliable
A&J Reliable,
Incorporated.
and who actually did some work for us in the past, and we were satisfied with that work, and did a fine presentation for us, and they were the right price. Actually, they were
They
the
low
cheapest
bid?
of the 3, which
Low
is
bid?
surprisingly good for the amount of work they put into the bid, so, and the amount of detail they put into it, so we're confident that, they're gonna do a good job. And Matt will get on scheduling with them and hopefully get into it before anything.
Before the next hurricane
Before
comes.
we need it, yes.
Yeah, before the next tropical storm comes over.
What's nice that they're including is the gutter guard. We have glossies of that Danny would be very happy with. We don't want Danny on the roof. Right.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
minimize
This
Danny's
is
involvement.
minimize.
Possible, yeah.
So.
Yeah, this should help. And Danny met with them as well. It was his choice. He likes this,
Oh, that was nice.
this apparatus here that'll cut down.
New age gutter protector.
And I checked them against, Angie's list, and they
Oh,
have
yeah.
very good ratings, it's something 400 or something, it's an A rating.
Thank you.
Rockland.
Springdale.
They did, they replaced, like, I don't know, 25 or 30 slates last year, I don't know if you remember.
They specialize in slate too?
They do,
Well,
they do everything.
So they're gonna, it's the asphalt we're gonna go back to.
Just asphalt now, right?
Got a large
the
roof.
conversation feature.
So do we need a motion to hire them? I don't know.
That's
No,
what I
Carol?
thought either, I'm not sure.
What's the amount? I mean, are we?
I know, it's under that.
It's
It's
under
under the amount.
10,000, so I
No,
don't-
it's over 10.
It's over 10.
It's over 10,
the-
but it's under the, what, we changed it, what did
We
we
changed
change?
it up to 20.
I think it's
I think
20,
right, I
25.
changed it to 20,
20 to 25.
But that was the amount we changed,
That had to do with,
for numbers of bids.
Right.
That was not, I think we're probably safer having the board take
And
the
it can't hurt.
recommendation and, say we accept the recommendation, the board accepts the recommendation, go with this particular group.
I mean, it can't hurt, I
So-
guess, it's
Yeah.
better than, okay.
So we're going to make a motion.
I can note that in the minutes if you like. I
Yeah,
can
the
note
vo-
that in the minutes if you like.
You know,
The board was
Bernie could be
encouraging
making
Matt
the
to go
motion
forward
as the
with
head
it.
of the committee,
Sure.
and I'll second it.
It's a very.
Member of the committee and
Sounds
discussion
good.
and vote.
So it's the committee, it's just kinda like the committee's recommendation, and they all
Yeah.
go, okay, that kind of thing?
Right. Whereas, we.
Instead of us actually voting on it, you guys decide and let us know, right? That's
Right.
kinda how it works.
No, I think it makes sense for all of us to vote on it.
I do too.
Sure.
So-
Fiscally, yeah.
Alright.
So-
So
go
making,
for it.
making
Make
the
it
motion,
official,
making
let's-
motion that as per, the bids that, we asked for and A&J submitted, that Matt follow up on, using A&J Reliable to, get the roof repaired.
And Jim is making a second
I'll
on
second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
So we had $25,000 capital line, and this is, what, 12 something?
Around 12.
Oh, wow.
11.9.
Leaves us some
Yeah.
money to do some other capital needs.
To get.
Right,
Yeah.
'cause
Okay.
other problems.
That's good.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, let them know.
So.
And remove the tree.
What's that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I
that?
was
Kinda
surprised that
funny,
happened
but-
so quickly too.
What's that?
The tree?
There's one less tree in the back
Oh,
lot.
yes.
I
Yeah.
saw that, yeah.
And he's coming back to
One day I
this,
was here, it was there, next day I was here, it was not.
Is it something to bring up now, or do we?
Isn't it
Yeah, okay. Well, hold on.
Did it? I don't remember, I don't remember
I
either.
wrote it, so.
Anything
I
further
can't
from
remember if I read it
Physical
before, but I talked to
Resources
you about it,
Committee
so.
for discussion?
No, I don't think so.
I think that's the building.
Hmm?
Or anything for
No.
Physical Resources.
What do you think, anything else, I think that covers it, tree, the roof. Oh, well, I'm still trying to get the cupola guy, but, we talked about that during our, earlier meeting, so I'll have more on that soon.
Okay, thank you very much. Jan, you're speaking, or you're not?
like me to talk?
We would like you to talk.
Oh, all right, well, I guess I can.
She's here on behalf of Cornerstone Works.
Yeah, I'm
She's
wearing like 5 hats right now. I actually have some really cool handouts. What I have printed up for you guys is all the publicity that we got for Shakespeare in the Park. The top is an article from the Times Herald Record. I'm just gonna pass these, just gonna take one copy. Yeah, come on, I'll use one. So the top one, I guess I'll just
the Times Held Record, Kenny actually sat down and talked with this girl for about an hour and a half, and
Thank you.
what she took he thinks was his biography, so he wasn't very happy, but she talks about the link that Cornerstone and the arts have with the public, and how obviously it's Kenny talks about how he started at the Goshen Library and how they're still like sponsoring him and how we're still helping the arts to grow. So it wasn't as much a publicity for Cornerstone as it ended up being for the library, which ended up being okay. The second piece was July 17th, 2013. It is the Times Herald Goshen Indy, I'm sorry, and it's the middle article, Merry Wives is Legion Park opens 2 weekends. That was the week before our show. The next set of 2 is the Goshen Indy. In middle of our run, we did 2 weekends, 20, 21, 27, and 28, and this is the July 24th copy. So this is obviously the front page with the lovely Carol Cullen on the right, and Donna, our president, and Kitty, my mom's sister, who was wonderful at helping. And then if you open to the second page of that, it's the back page where Merry Wives of Windsor Shakespeare in Legion Park, Cornerstone Arts Alliance production, sponsored by the Goshen Library, is on the things to do calendar section thing. So a lot of great publicity this year. Yes?
Wasn't there one more, because
These are
some of the actors were reviewed in one of the,
yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Except I couldn't. We don't have that paper in the library, so I couldn't copy it. I
Okay.
couldn't find.
Stolen.
Right.
I couldn't find it online.
I couldn't find it either.
I
Yeah.
have it cut out at home.
Yeah, I couldn't find it
Oh,
online,
yes.
but we did get a review in the Times Herald Record.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
And it was a good review.
it was.
Every person was.
I I have it on my phone. I have it in a picture. I could read it to you, but I won't, because for those of you who saw it, you know what it is. It's awesome. But the guy who reviewed us, whose name I cannot think of off the top of my head, he mentioned every single person by name, even the people who were. I don't know if any of you know Rachel, Keith's stepdaughter. She was in it, and she was like a standby and a servant, and he still mentioned her by name. Everyone was mentioned by name, which I thought was great.
With an adjective or two, too.
Yes, all positive adjectives except Falstaff. I think he was called Flabby, but the fat suit. That's probably why. So we were like, come see the show. The record called Flabby. That was gonna be our punchline, but we decided not to do that. So we got a lot of really great press, which was awesome, and every single press release or anything we put out, all of it was in conjunction with sponsored by Goshen Public Library. A lot of the newspapers are pretty notorious for doing things wrong, like, hey, Jane Austen runs this weekend, and this weekend. Well, it doesn't actually run that weekend. Or they put the times wrong, or they don't add something. But this one, we got everything right. So, yay us. I have more things.
Do we know, you had, 500 people attend?
Oh, wait,
Hold.
I'm getting
Okay,
sad.
that's all right. I thought
That's
we were
okay.
moving on to
That's
something
all right.
else.
Also, we had Tom Busey from the Chronicle. He took pictures. They're online. If you Google him, Tom Busey, go under galleries, Merry Wives. I'm just gonna.
Tom,
Bushy?
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 Bush-
Times Herald. I think he's Times Herald Record.
I don't know.
Okay.
Honestly, that's awful. I
He's
probably
a-
should. So this is
no.
on. I'm just gonna let this run. So he got some really great shots of our cast. We have Rachel and Ben and the set, which my lovely mother painted with the help of my aunt. So this should be going sometime soon. Yes, Tom Bushy, Bushey. They're online. If I can get this to go, I'm not sure why it's not going. Where's my?
Oh, it's
here it
a
is.
Mac, isn't it?
Yeah, this is my brand new computer, so just bear with me for a second. Well, when those load, there's 20 pictures, some really great action shots, some really great facial expressions from people. So if you want to check those out, go ahead. Really cool. And attendance. You want to talk about? I don't know why this is loading, so I don't want you to look at something that's not relevant. So last year we had about 300 people over 4 performances. One of the performances was pouring. For those of you that came last year, our second Saturday, I believe, was the day before we closed, was torrential rains. No thunder, no lightning, so we went on anyway, dripping wet, kind of nasty, but really fun. And this year, we had about 550, 575 people over 4 days. And one of those days was threatening rain all day. It was the second Sunday, the day we closed. We still had 100 people under the tent. The second Saturday, we had almost 200 people there. People were outside of the tent and were complaining because they couldn't hear us, because the way the tent is, if you're under the tent, it reverberates sound back, but getting sound out of the tent is really difficult to do. So they were kind of mad, and I said, well, if you showed up on time, you were getting a spot under the tent, and that would have been an issue.
Now, was it some people came from New Paltz?
We had people from New Paltz,
All
we
the
had
way
people
from
from
New Paltz.
Albany, we had people from Pennsylvania, Northern Jersey. I mean, like, not just Orange County and Goshen. I mean, people who were like, oh, my aunt's cousin's friend's sister's daughter-in-law told me about this last year and told me I should come, and it was free, so I came. Last meeting, or maybe meeting before, I showed you the shirts I made, Keep Calm and Have Willpower, and I went around to local businesses and got 12 local businesses to give me $50 a piece, so the cost of t-shirts were completely covered to make them, so $600, and so Cornerstone just made straight profit, and we had 100 t-shirts, and we sold 97 of them, I think. We even had some online orders. Thanks, Eleanor. Our very first online order ever. Pretty exciting. So, needless to say, it was super successful. And a lot of people said, what is your budget? What's your budget? And I said, whatever the library wants to give us. So, you guys, you made a lot of people happy. And I love telling the story. The day we closed, Sunday, Tom Sion came up to me and he was like, I didn't know Shakespeare was this funny. Well, we had the Lions golf outing today, and he's still talking about how funny it was. He's still laughing. And so this is 3 weeks later, and people are still talking about it. So it's great for us at Cornerstone. It's great for us at the library. It's great for the village of Goshen because people are here. And like, oh, Goshen's not a podunk town. Goshen's got cool stuff. Goshen's got Linda's Office Supply and Howells and Delancey's and Kelly Jean's and free Shakespeare. You know, so it's wonderful for Goshen. There was really no downside except our tent wasn't big enough for one of the shows, but that's okay. So
Next
maybe
year, bigger tent.
yeah, maybe we'll get a bigger tent next year. I'm already thinking about. I think I'm gonna turn the tent, maybe do it in a thrust stage instead. I'm getting really crazy. I'm getting crazy, guys. So it was super successful. I saw a lot of you guys there, which made me feel really happy because I like when people come to our shows and show support, and that was great. It's only 2 weekends, so it's really hard because a lot of people are on vacation or people are going away, and it's 2 o'clock, and sometimes it's really hot. But even when it was hot, we had people show up and sit out in the sun and.
Well, you had Shakespeare fans.
We did. We did have Shakespeare fans for the Shakespeare fan. Genius. For those of you who don't know, we had fans with Shakespeare on them and said, "I'm a Shakespeare fan." Shakespeare in Salesian Park, sponsored by Goshen Public Library and Historical Society. On the back was a sticker with a QR code you could scan with your smartphone, take you to Cornerstone's website. It had the days of Merry Wives. I'm a Shakespeare fan. A little sticker under the tent and the dates, and we sold them for a small or $2 donation. And people were just like, "Oh, give me a fan. Here's a $5 bill. Just give me a fan." I mean, people were more than willing. They're like, "Oh, here's $5 in quarters." I mean, they were really, really receptive to it. People loved it. We did something new this year. We attempted a Shakespeare Family Fun Fest, which didn't quite go off as planned, but what ended up happening is we had stuff for all 4 performances. So we had a lot of little kids come with their families, maybe between the ages of 5 and 10, and we had color your own castle, make your own shield, like medieval Shakespearean stuff. We had bubbles. There's a bubble machine in the production, so if you came and saw that, that was very apt, which we didn't know until the day of, which was great. So we got like little kids involved, which I thought was really cool. I think that's everything. Did I forget something? Does anyone have any questions?
I just have a comment. Something that Jim hit on, a genius move as far as the book sales.
Tell me.
to not charge a set amount, but to ask for donations. It makes for such a difference in how much people give you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I tell you.
because
Okay.
we're still waiting on our 501c3. It's the government's awful, and because we're an art foundation and not like a scholarship or we're not a charity, they're just like, oh, we'll get to them later. So we're still waiting. So we can't actually charge people for anything. We have to ask for a donation, and usually people pull out $20 and they go, well, what'll this get me? It's like, well, you get 2 T-shirts, or you get a T-shirt and 5 fans. I'm like, oh, just give me a T-shirt and take the 10. I don't need change. And people, especially because the economy is so hard, and I think in conjunction with what Michelle was saying, having the overwhelming number of children, because, you know, going to the movies is really expensive. You know, going out, even going to dinner is getting more and more expensive. So having something that's free, people are more willing to say, oh, here's the $10 I would have spent on admission anyway. So here's a $5. Here's, you know, we had little kids digging in pockets and handing us pennies. And, you know, it's just like, cool, thanks. So it was awesome. We had a great turnout. We're gonna have more people next year. Super excited. Check out the photos. If you're friends with me on Facebook, they're on Facebook. BJ Booth, who was our fall staff, he's got them. Jackie Dion, who else? Mark Von Osen, Mr. Ford, or Master Brooke, if you will. He's got them on his Facebook, so they're kind of floating around. Google Tom Bushy. I think that's how you say his name. I don't know. I've never actually met him, but he took some great pictures. So thanks, and see you guys next year.
All right.
So,
Great.
any other questions?
Thanks.
I just have an observation. The sign that's put up on 207.
Yes.
Where?
Oh,
where,
right.
Get past 7.
Correct me if I am wrong.
Uh-huh.
I'm probably wrong.
That's okay.
Does it say sponsored by Goshen Public Library and Historical Society? It does. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
I took the initiative and got that sign made, because last year what we did is we took the flyer and we sent it to Printex and we said, make it bigger. So they made it bigger, so you could see the tent, but the font, even though it was 36, was still hard to read. It was orange and purple, and it looked real pretty, but when you were driving by, you couldn't see it. So I went online, I found that sign company. Vince McCormick, Donna's husband, was lovely enough to almost lose his thumb and put in grommets for us. Yeah, he suffered a major, if you see his left thumb, tell him thank you for us. He put that up and zip tied it. It's totally weatherproof, and it just says Saturday, Sunday at 2, so we can use it again every year. It says Shakespeare, the S is all cool, and then everything else is normal font, so you can read it. And then it does say sponsored by Goshen Public. I think it just says Goshen Public Library. I don't think I got an historical society. I think I ran out of characters, but GPLHS is on there. So that was cool.
Thank
and
you.
people were like, I didn't know the library did this. And I'm like, yeah, they do. Go check them out. Down the street, they have these awesome kids programs while you're there. So it was wonderful. Hopefully we'll double again next year, which would be great, because that would be 1,200 people. So yay. And hopefully we'll need a bigger tent, which will cost us more money, but that's okay. So we're excited. Does anyone else have any questions? No. Hey, we're doing a world premiere, Sisters Under the Skin, coming up in November. Come check it out. It's gonna be really cool. That's my plug for that. All right.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right. Director's report.
All the high points have been already.
It's
It's
all
all
because,
them.
it's all
Forget it.
because of you.
Couldn't do this without
I got the dreary stuff. I mean, you've read this already. The controller's office audited us for the recent levy and said that we had exceeded the amount 2%. But because yes.
Yeah.
So
because we were smart.
we were smart. Which surprised me because, I mean,
Surprised you were smart?
Surprised that we got caught.
What do you mean by that?
anyway, well, but no, we're okay. And you can remember to do that every year. I think that happens to a lot of libraries. It may not be by the amount that we exceeded the percentage, but you know, even if it's 0.003 over, they're going to say,
Sure.
you know, so.
But
as
if
long as
we
have
hadn't
that.
been over 60% in our vote, what would happen?
No, it's confusing. That's for schools. For libraries, it's the board,
The board
that
has
can
to-
override it.
We did an
Not the
override.
public, right.
Yeah, the
Alright.
board, 60% of the board,
Right.
and then the 50% of the public. 50 plus
We
1.
were around 80% on our vote.
Yeah, so no worries there.
Um,
Yeah, if you, I heard you guys talking about it. If you send me the information, because I'd really like to talk
I
to
will. Let me make a note.
whoever it is in Albany, because capital improvements are supposed to be
I
excluded.
would think so too.
Yeah, that's
but-
what I thought
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cause it's, and it was a separate line item too, wasn't it?
And we went back and
Yes.
forth with them about this a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
there's
So-
confusion, there's rank
$25,000
confusion anyway about, right?
And we
New
made
York
that, we
State?
made that resolution, the first, since the first year, we had the
Yes.
cap, the
Yes,
cap.
you're right.
So as on Upsher's,
He makes sure that we all do it.
suggestion, yeah, so, so it's a saving grace.
So it's a new habit.
The variance was signed by myself and Keith and sent in.
So we'll stay
You know
open
what
for
that
another
is,
year?
right? We wait for RCLS to give us
Yeah,
okay.
that's gross.
Oh yeah, people love the,
Yeah, isn't it good? You have good stuff.
I have good stuff, people are really happy
You
about
could
this.
put an exclamation mark there, right?
Life-changing things.
But anyway, yeah, no one seems to, mind you know my feeling about fines. I mean, fines really are there to keep
So we
people
get our stuff
bringing
back.
stuff back on time. They're not really out to penalize people for things they've already purchased, really. I mean, but raising the fines on those DVDs has helped to get the stuff back in a timely manner. When people say it's gonna be $1 a day, they're quicker than I think it's just a quarter, who cares? And then there's some poor soul waiting to get, for a week and a half because someone doesn't mind paying $1, if it's $10, they're gonna get it back. So that seems, and people seem to understand, there's been no real blowback over that. I did order the new trustee handbooks. I realized I could have just printed them out on the site. They're not that expensive, like $7 each, and they're just nicer. They have covers and they have, so we'll have 2010 any day now. Actually, which reminds me, there's a couple things I didn't put in the report because it's kind of mid-research. Two things that Jim had brought up last time around. One had to do with the selection versus appointment. I talked to Jerry Nichols about this. I actually sent an email to Robert Hubscher, but he has been on vacation, I believe. In your handbook, well, actually not in your handbook. In your handbook, it's addressed, but it's more clearly addressed in the 2010 edition. Ultimately, Jim was correct. They don't use the word veto, but you ultimately do have veto power over my decisions. The way it's supposed to work is that you guys hire, or a director is hired to do the work of selecting staff. Higher level appointments, obviously, would be reviewed by the trustees, the credentials of a particular appointment. And if you're in agreement that this person is suitable for the position, you will then appoint them at a meeting, officially, so they are selected by director, appointed by the staff. I'll read to you how this, appointed by the board. New York State education law specifies that all personnel actions must be approved by the Board of Trustees at a legal meeting. This, by the way, is Jerry Nichols' writing. This does not suggest that the board selects staff other than the director. It does mean that the board creates all positions, establishes salaries, which you've done with that grid that we made up, which we do every year, and formally appoints the staff upon the recommendation of the director. In other words, the director selects, the board appoints. Though the board must ultimately approve all appointments, titles, and salaries, and so note in their minutes, often simple staff appointments such as pages or part-time support staff cannot wait until the next board meeting. In such cases, retroactive appointments are commonly made. Likewise, public library boards will often approve an appointment pending civil service approval in an effort to streamline the sometimes awkward formalities of civil service rules, which you don't have to worry about, that I take care of. Typically, the board will review the credentials of candidates recommended for higher level staff positions such as department head or assistant director in order to be familiar with the library's leadership. In any case, the board retains its authority regarding the appointment and compensation of library employees. So I wrote to him, having read this, I just thought you might want to further clarify, but basically said it's a matter of the board trusting the director in making those decisions, but then listening to why the decision was made, what the person's credentials are, and at that point, formally appointing that new staff member if they are in agreement with the selection.
So the board can't like somebody and try to
Voice the
You find it.
Right.
because the process has to go through you.
right.
Check
So
it out.
we can't just say, I nominate my brother.
Be the
The
new-
second person gonna be his brother too.
Right, I think that's definitely a
Right,
safe.
so it's all gotta come
Roofing
through
goes
you.
to
But we can say no to,
Exactly.
Right.
We can override
Just
Matt.
say no, you
You
so
know,
that's
should-
instead of
we can
veto.
just
Should
reject.
Matt decide to hire his brother to do something, you know, we can override that, so.
But I got a question, the board never approved 20 or so
Well,
people,
that's-
because we don't have to do it if you, it's a
Well,
good
you
point, because
see-
you must have already done it.
You've done it in a kind of de facto way, because I have brought those, every person that's been hired, you've
We've heard about
been, right, it's been addressed in one of my reports. I've never, no one's been hired or let go here without your knowledge of it, in a written report. But you have never officially appointed them.
Oh, okay.
See, we, you know, this is a process, as I said, I've been at meetings, so just so you know, it's not just, we're that wayward. You know, probably 80% of the directors out there in libraries of this size that aren't just big bureaucratic kind of, you know, Long Island libraries, never heard of this, so they have to be reminded, it's just sort of not quite a formality, but it's just the kind of thing that slips by undetected, I mean, it's sort of strange. So I think that I have the list again here, it might be wise just to set, you know, things right according to the law and civil service requirements, that you all appoint that phone list that I have, that's everybody on staff. Right.
Same one we looked at last.
Yes, yep. And from this point forward, we'll do this on a per person basis. As I bring someone in, they will be then, you know, describe- just so that we're right, caught up.
Good,
Do you have one?
motion, necessary.
Did you ever look into the fingerprinting?
It's on
Yes,
the,
I
it's with
did.
the
That's
minutes.
That's coming up next.
It's attached to last month's minutes. I knew I saw it somewhere, thank you.
Am I correct in assuming that this will be motion to accept the staff list as presented by Matt?
That's what I said.
Motion to appoint,
Appoint, right,
use the word appoint, because that's what we,
the official word for it.
Motion to
This one?
appoint.
we're appointing them, he's recommending them and we're appointing them.
Okay, so, is it you made the motion, or somebody on the board
somebody
has
else
to
will.
make the motion?
It's the board action, so someone's gotta make a motion.
Human
Go ahead,
res-
Jim, what's your-
Chairperson of Human Resource.
Alright, fine, I make the motion that we accept, appoint
Appoint these people.
these people to the positions that are.
Can the president second the motion?
No, I don't think
No.
you can.
I'll
I
second
just-
the motion.
sorry.
No, you-
The other HR chairperson.
There you go.
The other
You're
HR
Norma.
person.
There you go, Norma, the other member. Human resources.
Strong department.
We are, we rock.
All approve?
Yes.
Aye.
Nobody abstained or? Okay.
They can all keep their jobs.
Thank you. And the background checks, I also, in the same email to Robert, who I believe is on vacation. I'll catch up with him about his opinion about this. Jerry Nichols said that the fingerprinting is still rare statewide, but gaining traction following schools. I don't wanna name names libraries, but I did contact a local library that was sort of the same size and such, and they don't do it, and that's just one. I'm gonna contact a couple more and see what they say. Well, I bring up the next, we have a meeting coming up, the next Directors Association. But he, you know, I guess he seemed to suggest that the difficulty is gonna be you don't have anything in place to do that the way the school does. It's kind of, it's gonna be an expense, you're gonna have to find a third party that does that kind of thing. But as far as, I mean, the other side of it is that you are protecting the library against being sued for, you know, bad hiring practices.
Do we know the cost to have somebody?
That I don't know, so I can look into
We
it.
went through
Yeah.
BOCES does it,
Yeah.
it's about $135
A person?
Yeah.
person.
Okay.
Districts will, the way districts do, if you work for us a certain period of time, we'll reimburse you. That's how they sometimes do
Oh,
it.
the
So-
person,
Ah,
the
so
individual.
The person, the individual person.
Purchases it, yeah, it's,
Wow.
Okay.
and then over time, if they're,
So if you,
I get
so
you,
if you
yeah.
want this
Want
job
the
for
job.
$9 an hour,
yes.
I had to pay
you
for
will
it
pay.
myself.
Yeah.
I was never reimbursed by him, but
Wow.
I wasn't either.
Make a phone call.
Yeah, hey, what's important is that I passed. Yeah, I don't care who pays for it. Right. Focus on what's
Really?
important. Thank you.
Photographs, fingerprints, that was in the 80s.
Well, the other thing, I guess I could contact BOCES too, just ask them how many libraries they, if libraries are going through them maybe.
Zupets.
Who's that?
Zupets. Yeah, that's the person we speak to, part of the
Charlotte.
teacher, what's her name?
Charlotte
Zupatz.
Zupatz.
Yeah, she's, okay.
They're not mandated reporters, right?
I'm sorry?
Are librarians
No.
mandated reporters? No, right?
Reporters, you know what that means?
No.
You have to report to all of the.
If you,
Oh, no.
I suspect.
You could be the
Jonathan
safest
Bus
library.
reporter.
That could be our motto, the safest library in the world. We should could rest our hat on that.
Yeah, we could, yeah.
They're making all sorts of people now mandated reporters. It's getting crazy.
Yeah.
But if it helps one child.
Yeah, that's right.
There's nothing stopping you from reporting it, but we're not mandated. You know what I mean? If it's real obvious, I mean, we should say something. So we don't get in trouble if we don't.
Alright.
Alright, so I'll look into that some more.
Okay.
And get back to you next time around, let's see. What else? Okay, the raises, 1 to 3%, I mean, I just used the step system that we have, and made sure that we have, a certain amount of buffer, you know, so far so good on that line. Let's see, youth services, Folds Books is coming up with it, they go to every year, which is a nice program, it's guest speakers, authors, they look at new books coming out, Michelle and company generally go. Casey and Ann are still working on their digitization project with, Southeastern New York Library Resources Council, which is in Highland. This is, I don't know if you remember, this is in an effort to get some of our ephemera, postcards and some letters and such up on the site with, the Hudson Valley Heritage Site. If you ever looked at it, but you need colleges, local history societies, libraries, all have their stuff up there. And there are protections in place, so you can't just click on it and download a picture. You know, there are ways even to set it up so that you can have people use PayPal if they want an image that's not under copyright and they want it, you know, charge $10 for it or whatever, and they can pay for the downloadable version. We haven't looked into, that's kind of the reason these guys are going, to see what else, aside from just, you know, scanning the stuff and putting it on the web, what we can do with this software. So that's moving along. Jerry Nichols is coming up. I'll be talking to you guys about continuing those classes hopefully. That's in September. This class is on legal issues, which will be probably very helpful. Dan Barbone took the tree down, the back maple tree. And he will be providing the stump as soon as he has time.
Any plan to put a replacement tree there?
We have
It's too early to think about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they're missing two.
It does, yeah. I know exactly what it looks like I'm listening to.
And he did all this work for $500. He also trimmed all the stuff in the front, the
Oh, that's terrific.
sycamores, and I don't know, good guy. And Danny's water control fixes
You
up our
could see
whole-
that ladder, by the way. I mean,
What?
that, yeah.
Save a little ladder.
So we're satisfied with his work, yeah.
Well, that's right, we should put a thank you in the
I
newsletter
have,
or
yeah, the
something.
Valdez again. Book sale was a great success. Jim's idea to get rid of the actual having people have a price, having the books priced. They just seem to be. Someone gave one of our friends $40 for a couple paperbacks. And
Wow.
it was a-
That's funny. I saw that, I just
It's
like,
a-
wow, $40.
It's so funny though, the way that this is psychological shift there, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Because you're giving them a chance to be generous. and
Right.
stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's nice.
You
Good thinking.
selling them for $1 a piece regardless in the beginning?
The
I mean, is that
hardcover
the
for
usual?
$1.
She
and
thought
then
it was
it's
the
$2.50.
singles,
Yeah.
$2.20s.
And
You
people
can
would
have
come out
a
and
glass
they would
deal.
say, how much is it? You'd say just $2.50 or $2.75 or
advantage of
whatever.
it.
Then they would, you know, give you $2.50, $2.75. I would say, well, we're, you know, nonprofit, whatever donation you wanna make. They'll open their wallet, there's a 5 or a 10, and
Give it to them.
it's
It's
great.
nice.
Because now they're afraid to come to our book sale.
Don't get fired.
They don't look like hikers.
Tom Leak is really gives us such
Yeah,
great coverage.
really.
He deserves,
Right.
you know,
Sweet.
it's been amazing. Student writing contest, he's put all of the kids' samples in, I think.
All the winners.
Winners.
Yeah.
Today, the last one, was it the last, the
Yeah,
9th, 12th?
that was nice,
Okay.
that's it.
And the big band, Ice Cream Social was, huge
Phenomenal.
success.
The numbers,
Phenomenal.
people were turned away there.
Yeah, that was.
They were turned away.
Well, the room has a capacity of
Saw-
one
saw a
thirty-five,
picture.
according to the fire code.
But the top was, that's where I was in the
Right
bleachers, I was in the
Well, we-
cheap seats, and
I
that was
started
full back there,
counting. I got
yeah.
the one, about 126, this was like at 7, people were still streaming in. So I decided to stop counting, because they didn't want to hit at 135. And then people just come to the door with their families, and they look in, and they turn around and leave, because there's no place to go.
Mhm.
I just say, up in the hall, there were probably 25 people in the hall.
Mhm. More when we were there, yeah.
We got an
So-
earful from the maintenance woman, Jim and I, about moving
The
venue.
furniture?
We have to
Bigger place.
do a different site next
Senior
year.
Citizen Center at CJ Hooker.
She thinks we should go to the Hooper School in the auditorium. But I don't know, I was thinking of maybe like high school cafeteria or something, but the parking here is so great. You can park your car and you can just walk a short distance, you're in the building. I mean, it's just like a senior audience by and large. Well, it's a families too,
So-
but there were a lot of seniors there.
If there was room, do you think people would be dancing?
Actually, there were people that really were kind of starting to, but there was no room. I think if we
Yeah.
had like a side area where
Yeah.
people could dance, it
Yeah.
really could add a whole other element to it. We
Uh-huh.
find not only some would enjoy dancing, others would enjoy watching them dance. Maybe we need to look into that.
Mental note for next year,
That's
Well,
right.
the senior center is actually bigger than the school.
Oh, yeah?
What's bigger?
The senior center is actually, it's a
The
big open
acoustics
space.
there
acoustics are pretty,
awful.
yeah.
Oh, are they, yeah?
Oh,
Oh.
they're
Yeah,
just
especially
awful.
All right,
The
then.
ceiling
big
isn't high
bands
enough.
and-
I think
Yeah.
there's at CJ Hooker, unless they've changed dramatically since the days we were in there, there's in front of, between the audience and the stage, there's a nice
The orchestra pit.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah, the orchestra pit, thank you, I knew there was a word for
That
that.
could be
Where
where
people can
people
dance,
dance.
when the orchestra's on the stage,
Right.
everybody can see it, and it's
Yeah.
just, I mean,
That's
it's
a good
built
idea.
for
Yeah.
performances,
Yeah, I like
you know,
that.
so, and the other thing is that people can pull up right to the side, and the ramp is there, and you walk right into it, so.
The last 2 shows we went to, that door is locked. When you get to the top of the ramp,
th-
Doors locked.
But we have to make sure it's open. But I thought it was a great turnout, and the
Yeah.
music was great.
thank you.
Great job.
And there's the Merry
Thank you,
Wives of
friends.
Windsor, you've already heard from Jen about that, so that pretty much sums it up.
We have some the Friends have authors come in the fall. Eleanor Coons is gonna do a book talk,
Death of a Dyer.
second book, and then I think Charlie LaRocca is gonna come back, and we're also gonna have Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, nice.
Jimmy Sturr.
I bought the book.
Okay.
He wrote his
I know who he is.
autobiography.
That's great.
Yeah.
I know that's what it is, yeah.
And then we have the Antiques Appraisal in September. It's like Antiques Roadshow, but we can't use that here. And of course, the book sale.
It's for the friends,
Now, do you bring your antiques there, you pay to have somebody look at it, is that how that
Yeah.
works?
yes.
Yeah.
And the,
I think it's like three items for $5 or something like that. There's-
As for
there's-
donations.
if we were doing the donation report.
I guess it is a
not
donation,
discussing
now that you
the
mention
budget.
it, you're right.
So,
You know,
Thank you to
talking
Chris.
about it there.
Donate the
Went
valued
off to
antique
get
you
off.
brought.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then
Variations
there are
on it.
two or three appraisers, they have kind of areas of expertise.
Sounds good. Is this the first
Isn't
year,
that right?
because I
That's
know
enough
Warwick
now.
did it in the
And we've
past.
done it we've done it twice, because the first year we had refreshments, that was a
Yeah.
disaster. We had all this food and people, they wanted to get their item appraised, they didn't come to eat.
Yeah.
So the second year we had no food, so this is the third year.
For the drinks this time of the.
A little wine, maybe.
Maybe a little wine.
So, we were gonna chase down the insurance,
Yes.
for Salesian.
I did. Well, this is gonna have to have a part 2. I had them send me an abstract, I guess you'd call it, a summary of what is covered. And there's a new person, our rep just left, there's a new person there, and what's his name, Jack chased her down for a week and a half, and, I mean, she's very helpful once we got her, but she gave me everything, and then I'm looking at it yesterday, Friday, and I said, wait a second, everything here has numbers except the vacant land. So I went through it myself today. It's about 500 pages. I can't find that 366 Main Street. I know it's covered because they've come here and hassled us about, you know, stuff. You know, look right, exactly. I just don't know why I'm having such a hard time finding what our actual coverage is. So I will call her back tomorrow and ask her. I mean, we asked specifically what the vacant land. You see, this is
Vacant land is leasing,
right.
Is that?
Yes.
Okay. So this, all the other items here are for here?
Well, this is, if I'm reading it right, this is 203 Main Street. See, this policy here goes down here, and this is general liability, which goes here, and then this umbrella starts beneath that. So this, maybe somehow this and this are connected, but it's weird, just the way it's written. I have to figure out what, I'm not sure if she missed that or if it's just I'm misreading it, so I'll talk to her, I'll try to straighten that out. And I can email this to you when I find out if you like.
Okay. Good.
Had nothing to do with that, but it took something off my mind. Oh, newsletter copy. You just, I did send something to Laura and something to Yvonne. I need anything you'd like in the newsletter. This goes for board and friends by the 23rd of this month, which is only a couple weeks away. So it's more or less just dates for like I was just thinking, a lot of those
Like
friends
all
things.
those author names,
Right.
that would be useful.
Anything, if you were writing something for the indie, we talked about, if you'd like to submit that as well to go into the newsletter, that's fine.
Okay.
It's up to you. And we have plenty of room usually in the autumn because it's not.
Okay.
You're gonna cover in the children's programs this summer, the numbers?
Yes, the pictures, yep.
But you want, the newsletter, that our fall newsletter is going out,
Well, I
need
need
it
the copy
by-
by Friday the 23rd of this month.
okay. Can somebody else write it for this month, for this cycle, cause I'm.
If you feel like you need to, if there's something you'd like to say, if not,
I think there
we'll
should
fill it.
always
I don't
something
have to
be,
do it
there
every
should
month.
always,
We really
yeah,
don't.
I know, but there should be something, I think, from the trustees.
Subject.
On what?
Well, actually, what we could do,
The wonderful
you know what we could
attendance
do?
over the summer, I mean, we're happy that, you know, folks in the community see the library as such a great resource for them and their families, and thank you for your support, and, what?
It practically writes itself.
There you go,
Well, I
who's
was
taking
thinking that
notes?
we asked them for $25,000 for capital, and now we have selected someone to work on the roof, and it's gonna cost this amount, and
Actually,
this is
that's
where
good.
your money's going.
See, there's
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
plenty.
Yeah, I
I
think
just can't do
something
this
along
one, I
those
have
lines.
too many things on my plate right now, my head is gonna explode.
Marriage coming
I'm sorry?
up? A wedding coming up? Or
Yes.
is that already?
Yeah,
Oh.
no, it's coming up.
So it's the Ellert girl.
Yes,
Yeah.
One of your children is getting married?
Yes.
my son,
Oh, congratulations,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Saturday.
Good looking couple.
Wh-
so
when
it's
is the
all-
Yes,
wedding?
they are, Saturday.
Oh,
You're
so
here?
you're busy.
Yeah. So that's why I can't write something that, to be ready by the 23rd, cause we have 75 members of our families are here through
I'll do it.
which, thank you, Nancy.
Nancy's gonna
Great.
take care of it.
Okay.
By the 23rd?
Got
Yes,
that.
please.
How long is it usually? I know I've read them, but I mean, like,
It's a paragraph or two.
Yeah,
a couple
yeah.
paragraphs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're really pressed for time, Monday, we could stretch it to Monday, the 26th, I
So
guess.
I'm not really that fussed.
Okay.
And maybe that same little article can go into the Indie
There you go.
as
Okay.
Wait a minute, who was writing the first, somebody else was writing the first one for the India.
I was, but
I thought it
I
was,
just,
I thought you were the second, well, okay.
No,
she's first,
he's-
I was gonna be second.
Oh, you
Yeah.
were the second.
but it's something like that, that could go into,
Teasing.
there's no room in my head.
Don't mess with the mother of the group.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
That's it? Thank you, Matt. Thank you. Unfinished business. Now, I just printed out 2 copies to save some branches.
I printed them at
The
home,
business
but
plan.
they're still there. They're still at home.
Just, you know, I'd forgotten, or I don't know what happened,
Inherited.
that Ellen Merritt, well, this is just, we'll segue into it.
Okay.
But
You have one?
there's a copy of the business plan on both sides of the table, and it's what we've put together to date. I just formatted it just a little differently.
Everybody has.
Huh?
Everybody has one.
Ah, said a couple leaves.
Now, we got, there were two things to open on the email of the
Oh,
business
could I
plan.
have one for Karen? Sorry,
And
And then one was slightly different than the other.
what's that?
One was a PDF now.
No, I included the Word document, the Word format of the business plan in case, Matt, if you or your people, staff wanted to make any changes to it since
So both documents were identical?
they were
Different format?
identical.
Okay.
And the thought behind it was, this is from, around this time last year, 2012, so I don't know if any changes have occurred to, change, add programs or whatever. It's open, but, and it follows the format of what Ellen Mary had put together, and, I put a table of contents in the beginning. And I don't know what else to add. I don't know if it would be worth our time to continue adding anything that, I don't know what we really need to add, looking at the other business plan templates that is apropos to a library, where I know we're gonna be spending a lot of time in the next year or so on our building plan, working with, Paul Mays. So, I don't think there's much to be gained to continue doing anything further with that. I think it's fairly
No.
complete.
The idea when I put it together was to have a foundation document that once a year we revisit, is this still relevant? Is it,
Well-
you know what I
well,
mean? Not
that's-
that, I'm pointing at this
You
because I
just
don't have
piece
the
of
business plan
paper
in front of me.
and-
No, I'll point at this, so it's the kind of thing where,
Right.
okay, is this still our mission, are these still our values, is this still how we're executing it? Because over time, we're gonna get rid of VHS tapes, we're gonna get, you know what I mean, and things are gonna
Yeah.
change and new things are gonna come in. And this is just the foundation that around it, where you edit, tweak, whatever.
Yep.
But that was the
So-
point of making it, was we didn't have anything. You
Yeah,
know, and if
no.
you're gonna ask for millions to do something, people need a,
Right.
you can't go
Right.
to a bank without
And
one.
some guy standing up and saying, you don't even have a business plan.
But seriously, if you were to go to a bank for $10 million for a capital project, the first thing they want is a business plan.
And what, we have, what is it, 8 pages in there
Right, and
that,
it doesn't even
most
have
of
to
it
be-
is, most of it is our programs, resources, and services, which
Right.
are considerable when you,
They
you put
are.
them together like that, so
And
it's a good starting
do
point.
we have this up on our website, do you know?
Well,
It ought to be.
Well, you, one of the CC'd, I'll send it to you.
I don't believe, when did you send it?
I don't think I
I
got a
just got
copy.
it.
I don't have.
I sent it,
The business plan?
yesterday.
I got, yeah.
Yeah, I sent it yesterday. Check your junk mail folder, I don't know.
This was sent to me.
I'm not sure if you,
I can
I think you
If-
were.
If not, I'll.
I think I just did a reply all on what you had sent out, use that list of email addresses. Okay, so,
Yeah, you're on there.
so anyway, that's that one. The other part, and, it's an ongoing process, is the strategic plan, and, this is the near term, the short term strategic plan. And I know we've done some work, since putting this together, and, it's worth a look-see now what we could cross out. I don't know if anything should be, anything should be added, but,
Number one's kind of done.
yes.
The big check.
Well, I'm gonna take it off.
No, that's fine. And we're getting the
Is there,
roof
is there
done.
any,
Number two.
is there any need to discuss the first one?
No.
Okay.
Well, as long as,
No.
they're giving us the TAM without an argument now. because-
Right,
so
which is
that-
pretty
that
much,
seems
I
to
think
go-
we've
that's
accomplished
resolved.
our goal.
Alright, so that's done.
Yeah, so
And
one is done.
number 2 is ongoing.
Right.
Now, we
let's
did
see.
have, on the building repairs, at one point we had a list and we had prioritized them.
Right, the
have
physical
we done
resources
that?
committee had come up with something.
We've done that, how long ago did we make that list and set up the priorities? Was that
I
6
wanna
months
say
ago?
that
4 or
was
5
six-
months ago?
it was
April, May? Yeah, cause
Yeah,
it was
it might
before,
have been.
no, it was before the,
It was before the budget.
the budget,
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I was gonna say, I
Cause
thought it
it's-
was more
yeah.
Christmas time,
Yeah.
November, that kind of.
So I don't know if we need to do that again,
Well, now that we're having funds
Available.
left over from
Well,
25.
right.
Yeah, we should
Yeah,
revisit it.
we'll look to see
I
what's
think the
what's
roof was
next.
number one anyway, so,
Yeah.
And the holes in the side of the building, I'm trying to remember what else we had.
The pump,
The pumps, I mean, there's a lot of
The
it.
painting the
Sure.
building, caulking the windows.
Maybe we
Right.
should
all kinds of
Maybe
look
things.
at that
next month
for
or something.
September.
Come early
Come back
again,
to the
or-
list and,
Yeah, and then we can figure out what to do
we
with
can come back to the
rest.
list, I guess. We
Yeah.
can need to set it next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just figure out where we're gonna spend the balance of the capital. Sounds good.
The newsletter.
Now what was it with the grant writer? We weren't able to find
I
anybody.
think
Matt had
a lead.
somebody.
I do have a lead. I'm having a hard time getting in contact with him. Gene Rice, I'll have to talk to Gene Rice. He gave me a bunch of stuff, and then he said he was having computer problems, and then disappeared altogether. So, and I meant to ask her last time I saw her and forgot. I'll talk to her as
Okay.
soon as I see her.
But what we did determine is we can't give him a cut of any
Right.
Right,
money.
yeah,
New
That's
York.
right,
Stipend.
Yeah,
This is,
so-
So we would have to
So
hire
it would
him.
be-
We have to hire him
On a fee
outright.
basis.
Now, can it be,
And
can you get a better fee if we're successful? Can you do it like
Yeah,
that?
that's interesting.
It's $500 to write the fee and write the grant, and if we get the grant, we give you another 5 or something like that. I don't know how it works.
Depending on how
But,
much
yeah.
grant is, yeah.
Well, when I sold my house, we made a thing with the realtor. I get my full price, you get your full commission. So I just
Nice.
wonder if,
Yeah.
so should I pay you full price if I'm not gonna?
Well,
I'm just
I-
wondering, are we allowed to do something like that? Is it done? I've never had a grant writer, never dealt with a grant writer aside from Ken, so I don't know.
Well, it's different than getting a percentage.
It is, that's why I'm
grant, so
wondering, is there a way to?
Well, maybe
successful grant.
first thing we find a grant
Yeah,
writer,
there we go.
then we'll, you
Yeah,
know,
right,
has
then we
probably dealt
worry
with this
about that
before.
kind of stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's working on that.
Budget for new technology, where are we with, cause I remember discussing that when we were coming up with the budget for this year. I think we really decimated that line, didn't we? In previous years, we cut it way back or something.
we did, but we're up to where we should be now.
Are we now?
I
We're back to where we were.
You could, right,
Yeah.
we could always do better, but we're back to where we were. And I believe, I mean, it's, you know, I mean, we're kind of.
How old are our computers?
No, they're good, we're
Okay.
swapping them, he's got a whole plan. Yeah, every 5 years we
couple
wrote.
years, yeah. And we have
Yeah,
dealt with.
which is conservative. I mean,
Sure it is.
It is
for
5
profit
years.
businesses every 3 years.
Well, we're
right.
we're pretty much web-based, right? Isn't that majority of how we use our computers here? Is it
Oh, yeah.
browser?
Yes.
So, you know.
Yeah, so as long as they're not flash pages, you don't need a lot of power.
We have a secure wireless network too, don't we?
Right,
So we
that's
can cross
something we
that
can
out
cross
too.
out.
We've
Wow.
done
Look at what
stuff.
we've
3
done.
of the 5 are taken care of, and 2 are in process.
So maybe for, next meeting, we come up with more stuff to do. Well, we're gonna meet with homies and I think that will give us.
It probably gives a lot of stuff
I
to
think
do.
that will
Yeah.
give us,
Yeah.
we'll have a thing.
The community
Couple of
outreach,
pages.
No, that could deal with both, whether we're going for a vote on a new library or just continue getting the word out, which, you know, it sounds like stuff's happening, especially with the Indie and them providing us a lot of press.
Yeah, we do
But
a lot of stuff.
it's that
We
part's
do have-
ongoing or project based, so. But we do have under there a couple of things worth talking about. You have you not revamped the website?
Yes, we did do
Past-
that since we started this paperwork.
Well, is it-
We went to WordPress.
Yes, we did.
Right, after we started all this, we went to WordPress and it's coming out pretty nice.
So
That's the other.
we could take revamped website
I think
off
we
of the
can.
list.
right?
The newsletter, do we put that up on the website?
Yes.
Is it a bigger version of the newsletter, cause it doesn't take up any, you know,
It's
it's
just a
not like we have
link
to
to a
print it.
PDF.
Right, but it's a PDF of actually what they get in the mail, or is it a little more,
I think
like
it's.
fleshed out, like more photos,
It's.
more?
Oh, no, it's the same thing.
It's the same
Yeah,
thing.
Thing, that's what I'm wondering, like if you go online, do you get a
Like
better-
enhanced version.
yeah, right, there's more to it, cause it's online.
No,
I just
we could think
wondered
about that though.
Yeah, 'cause that could be,
But I'm sorry, I jumped
No, no,
ahead.
that's fine.
We talked of contacting some of our schools and churches, senior center, to get the word out more. what are we talking about? Are we talking targeted, brochures, or, you know, we're not talking mailings, we're talking just getting information packs out to these various places?
I think it was the public relations to make people like the library kind of thing, wasn't that what the goal was?
Well, partly get
I thought
myself
that
on
was-
Rotary, we have
Right, he's on the
Lions, we
Rotary
have
and some at the Lions Club, and we have a couple of
EPW,
different.
DPW,
Yeah.
Right,
Chamber.
BPW, the chamber, there's, do we have volunteer firemen, or we do? A volunteer fireman, we have.
I play
the
bagpipes for.
You play the bagpipes,
Firehouse,
see this?
I think that was also related to, when we get around to a new building, you know, the
Right.
groups that we need to.
Right, I
Yeah.
think
Get
these
the
were
words
mostly
to.
just
Get support.
ideas.
Yeah.
I don't
Right,
think
okay.
and I think this is more after we meet with Mr. Mays, we'll get a better idea
Right.
of
Okay.
how much of this we need to do and how to do it.
Then just taking out the revamped website and
Yeah,
the
I
others
think
are
that's
ongoing, especially as here for new
Yeah, we
library.
gotta I don't think we know what to do next, I think
Yeah.
these are all just ideas.
Alright, I'll clean it up and I'll have it for the next time,
Alright.
give Ted along with other
And
stuff.
then we'll meet him in October and you'll come back with a 3-page
Yeah.
document.
No, I'll use duplex printing. Okay. Any other unfinished business that needs to be brought up? No. Okay, new business, board appointment and staff, we did that.
We just voted on it before.
Right, so.
So that's done.
Yeah. Personal policy and.
Yes, we have, Carol and I are working on that, we're gonna probably email that out, put it on the web tomorrow, and, you'll be able to next time we see you, we'll print out a version of the most recent one for you. We meant to bring it tonight, but there was a hitch, so it'll be online tomorrow.
You'll put it as part of our packet if you need to. for us
Yes,
to
either
review.
or if you'd like to bring in your book, I'll see to it that your book is up to, current.
So, if we bring in the book, you'll take out all the old pages and
Right.
put in the new ones?
Yes.
I'll bring my
Oh,
book
yeah.
then. Alright, so.
Everybody brings them in all at once.
Stream in.
Okay,
Next meeting.
any other new business, other, no, I don't know why I have this here, but our
I have
next-
one question, which I understand, it's not really your business, but we had a tremendous amount of rain recently.
Oh, gosh,
and
yeah. Friday.
I didn't see the kinds of problems in town that we had, is it because they've been doing work on the drainage
Oh,
in
you're talking
town?
about,
Yeah,
like,
the flooding in
John
town?
Street to
Yeah,
out
places like
here.
that. Is that problem pretty much addressed now, or?
I think
'cause it affects us,
locally-
we get the,
I think locally here in the village, the hot spots were taken care of. I don't know if it's entirely taken care of, but I thought they were gonna replace some pipe. They may have that, is closer to the sewer treatment plant. That was, the one issue I remember, being outstanding. But here in the village,
we didn't have
no,
anything
I
that
mean,
posed
I
an issue. 'Cause we
see
had
the
so
front
much
page
rain.
of the Times Herald and it's, I don't know, up in Middletown.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I
Ballard
drove through
Road,
this.
Ballard Road was closed. It was
Right.
closed, there
That
was, I
swings
mean, there was a
with the crystal
car,
run.
there was a car with water up to the
I think
window.
Phillipsburg.
Yeah,
was
Ballard, to get into the
closed.
Galleria,
Area.
there was a
That's
woman being
lovely.
rescued from the car, as we arrived, the firemen arrived and they were getting a woman out of her car, the water was
This was
up
on
to the window.
Friday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Friday was crazy.
Yes.
Well, I
Yeah,
drove
I
to
took my
the
daughter 20
village.
minutes to Bristol and
I've
Healthcare,
never
and
seen
we live
that.
right by where
Right.
Casamia was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
went
that was
there
all
too.
underwater.
So
We drove through.
it sounds like the village board is taking care of problems.
Well, it
Just
helps
redirected
us.
the water.
Yeah. It's going
To the town.
Instead of the Scotchtown things.
Export.
No, but,
Export, yeah.
well, I mean, we didn't have any issue here with,
No, we didn't,
back
it all
floor.
stayed outside.
That's
right?
That's
the
amazing.
important
That's the
thing,
important
you
thing,
know?
is that our-
There's
So-
another one coming tonight.
Tonight.
Well,
Yes.
Oh, are we
that was
getting another
almost
one?
1 to 2
Nice.
inches,
last
Oh.
week.
an hour,
Oh,
And-
No, wait, really?
that's what they said.
Oh, my goodness.
Called
It's
Channel
not on the
7.
wedding.
Missed that forecast.
We turn on the Weather Channel, we hear these horrible things and they say, in Atlanta.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I know.
People out west are, and not out west, in the middle of the country, there's just
They
can't
get
catch a
shorter.
break. They can't catch a break. It's like, oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm just,
Yeah.
with the fact that the village made progress has helped us.
Right.
because and then we did the work before, so.
Yeah, and especially
better.
over on Erie, is where they took care of, the main part of the issue.
There was still a lot of water running down the road, but my Greenwich and even West Main, but it wasn't like you couldn't see the curb, it wasn't,
Yeah.
it was just a
Yeah.
really long, once the rain stopped, it slowed down too, it was really.
Yeah.
During past storms, when I would come down Erie to come to work, those canals that are on the side, where the things, they would be, if they were full, then we were having an issue here. And this past Friday, when I came down, the water was right up to the top of those canals, you wouldn't even, it was just straight across, you know,
Oh, nice.
they were right up to their limit, and yet we really had no problem here.
Oh, that's good.
So it seemed better to me, like it was being, handled in the right way. Where, you know, the underground capacity to take all that water was working.
So, any additional items to add to next month's agenda?
Yeah, I have one thing, just, it's not actually gonna be part of the meeting, but I'm rewriting the, director's evaluation. It was written with the previous director in mind, and it's kinda long and a little, some of it's irrelevant. So I'm going to rewrite it, and I'll mail it out to everyone, if we could just all hand it back to me at the next meeting, and then the Human Resources Committee meets sometime in September to tell Matt what a terrible job he's doing. Okay?
I did my self-evaluation, I signed up.
You are so good. Ah. Anyway,
Okay.
that's
Are
all.
we set in stone with Paul May's date and time, which is?
Date, I think it's 7 o'clock, but I'll double check. It's October 3rd. It's, what is that, a Wednesday? Right. October 3rd. Yeah, Paul Mays, and I believe it's 7 o'clock.
It's Thursday, October 3rd.
And it's just us?
I'm sure it's the third.
Are you sure it's the third?
Yes, I thought it was a Wednesday.
Pretty sure it's the third.
So, Wednesday is the second?
I think I did put it in my
I'll have to double check. I can email you tonight.
Yeah.
I have in my calendar as
October
Wednesday,
third's
the second.
Thursday.
Okay.
But
Is
was
that-
it, is it the
Okay.
third?
Is it the third?
It's
Is
the
it third
second.
or is it
Second.
second?
Second.
Second.
It's the second,
Thanks.
so it's the
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Put my calendar right as we. So.
And he's spending the day here?
Yes.
And he's gonna
Walking
check out
with the
the,
staff and all that?
Is there a cost in this
I
case?
think it's 450.
Great.
Yeah, and I have 7 o'clock. I had put it in the time we
Okay.
discussed it. I put it right in my calendar at the time. Otherwise, I forget.
Okay.
Set my 40 reminders.
Privilege of the floor. Okay. Do we have anything for executive session? I haven't heard
No.
from anybody. No, so, okay, then, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 9:05? Norma, Ellen Mary, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
no, I want
Then we'll close the meeting and thank all for coming, speaking, Jen, Michelle. Oh, it's a lot of great stuff.
We had a guy that taught, a professor at the college, a wonderful professor, true teacher, and he was a very emotional guy. And we would be discussing things, and he would get so upset that at a certain point in his career, he decided he was going to use for he wouldn't talk. And we respected